Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it. You already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye up, bye up. Let's get straight to the intro for reals. Welcome back. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure that you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I highly appreciate the support, man. Thank you. I'm very humbled. So I've been keeping you updated with the Sin City Manny Vegas shooting incident and all the different details and everything that has occurred before, now, and probably going to occur after. I say probably because one never knows, does one? I can give you the knowledge that you can't get in college, but at the same time, I cannot fucking predict the future. I could say one thing for sure. That man is never going to get out of prison in my lifetime or your lifetime. But you never know, man. Funny things have happened in this world. The world is backwards. For those of you that are now functioning within this era, within this world, you guys know we're living in a backward ass world. You know, a world where you got gang members walking around wearing labubus. Okay, so if you see a Pontius Pilate, fingernails painted, kid wearing a labubu, gang banging, well, that's just normal, right? Take it back to the 90s, the baggy bands, the bald heads, the paños. Well, that ain't it, homie. That definitely ain't it. So fast forwarding to Manny Ruiz, man, I've been looking so deep into his case, you know, trying to find what people are telling me, you know, because there's a lot of people that are supporting him and there's a lot of people that are against him. And here's me, right down the middle, understanding that no behavior, period, should ever dictate a man violently killing two people. Okay? Not at all. I mean, the only thing that I could think of, period, that could ever make me go that route is if I was in imminent danger of my safety and security or my kids were touched on. Guess what? Let's go to the pinta. Let me deal with the issues I have to deal with, period. And that's that. That's how that would go. But as far as people talking shit on social media or disrespecting my family on social media, well, that has happened to me. In fact, let me tell you guys a little story. So, you know, at one point in time, before we get to the Manny situation, at one point in time, there was a troll. I guess that's what you call him, right? And he came up out of nowhere, man. This dude was an African-American dude, a black dude, right? And prior to this guy popping up, I had never had any beef with the African-American community besides gang banging. You know, when you're in gangs and doing all that, it is what it is. Or on that prison yard, it is what it is, homie. But as far as beefing or disrespecting, I've never done that. Never been that. In fact, I believe in black and brown unity. I always have, but I also believe in fixing your own community before you can cross over into someone else's. I don't believe in trying to act like someone else. I believe in representing what I am, right, to the fullest, but supporting everyone else's culture. Anyways, I'm out of town for the weekend. I come back, my phone's blowing up. Next thing you know, some fucking dude named Homeless Bone has disrespected me and went in on me, and he just took a dislike to my content and just is going and going and going and going. And at first, hey man, no harm, no foul, right? I wasn't even tripping. I was like, whatever, that's on you. And then it started to become a nuisance, a thorn in my side. He continued and he continued and he continued. And I had a lot of people in my ear, a lot of people saying, are you going to bite back? Are you going to clap back? And so I did. And we did the back and forth thing. And I didn't feel good about it, but it was what it was. But this guy got so ingrained into my life, into my family's life, calling jobs, disrespecting family members that I haven't seen for years. Shit, I didn't even get a chance to disrespect them yet, right? So far as to getting a family member's location and address, right, through the internet and sending them, you know what I'm saying, bodily fluids through the mail. You know, an older member of my family. That's how bad it got, right? That's the type of trolling that can make a motherfucker do something bad to someone. Okay, and I just put that back here in the back of my mind. I downloaded that into my CD-ROM. I was pretty upset, but I had to ask myself a serious question. Was I willing to be away from my babies, my kids, forever, based upon some fucking Nat J-Cat's actions? Was I willing to never be able to hold on to my children, my family again, and be there for them when they need me? You know, was I willing to make that ultimate sacrifice because this guy didn't like me on social media for whatever reason, whatever his reasonings were? And it was a hard question. My past, my criminal element, way of thinking, the way I was, made me say, fuck that, homie, disrespect. You can't take no form of disrespect ever. And there's a lot of authors out there like, hell no, homie, I'll never be disrespected. Okay, sounds good. You say that now, you go to prison, you're going to get disrespected there. Disrespect is a word that is easily used and people utilize it all the time, right? And they put it into action. Respect and disrespect. So you got to understand that, hey, maybe that day you shine it on and let it go. Doesn't mean it's never going to happen again, right? But are you willing to sacrifice your life, your freedom, everything that you have and everything that you were for that? My answer was hell no. Hell no. I'm not going to let that man have power. He's not going to live rent-free in my mind and have power over what I'm doing, right? I'm not going to not be there for my daughter's graduations and all that because some J-Cat on the internet disrespected my kids and my family. It's not going to happen, right? So I made that conscious decision, and there was a lot of people that commended me for it. And there was a lot of people like, damn. Anyways, that's what I went through. And I went through so much more. So I could understand Manny's plight as well as Finney the Legend's plight. I could understand. But this was deeper. See, this actually got assaultive. There was actually assaults taking place prior to this incident. In fact, Sin City Manny had court in 4 days when he did the shooting. Okay, there's no disputing it. I've had people get at me harshly about this content from Las Vegas. Shout out to Vegas, man, and all the people that have been tapping in and getting at me righteously and respectfully. But there are a few that you don't know shit. You're not from here. Motherfucker, I know how to play a slot, like ling, 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 and the winner is, right? I know how to fucking dance on Fremont Street. You know what I'm saying? I know how to do all that. I know how to bona torta right there in the fucking Bellagio. I know enough about Vegas that I need to know. As far as the back streets and the gangbanging and all that, you're right. I don't know. I don't need to know. That's not part of my life. I go there for the fun under the sun, right? I know it's hot than a motherfucker there in June. That's what I know, right? What I also know is that Manny, 4 days prior, prior to the 4 days that he was going to have to go through before he went to court, he actually picked up that case. And, the shooting that we all seen. Now, he had court in 4 days. What was the court for? It was for an actual assault where Finney the Legend had pressed charges on him. Okay? So what had happened was months prior, there was a few incidences that happened between these couples. Sin City Manny, his wife Julie, or his girl, whatever. People try to correct me all the time. It's not his wife, it's his girl. No, it's not his girl, it's his wife. Look, he was with that fat chick. That's it. That's all I know. Pensa, right? And then Bubbly, and of course, Finney the Legend. And I've seen several different incidences on tape, on video. But this one, what had happened was Finney was recording on Fremont Street, which a lot of people do, man. I've been to Fremont Street several times. You always see people with their gimbal. They got it out. They're recording. They're happy. Most people are just tourists. They're not there to make content. They're not there to be on YouTube. They're recording for their family. They're recording on their trip. There's a lot of people that go to Vegas all the time. It's the biggest tourist attraction, this side of fucking Santa Barbara. A lot of people are there, right? And they're just happy to be there. I pulled out the phone a few times. Hey, look at shit. It's Elvis, right? But people are constantly recording. Anyways, Finney was recording. Now, prior to this incident taking place, there was already friction. There was already tension. See, if you take it way back, Finney the Legend was actually a supporter, subscriber, and fan of Manny Weiss. Okay? There was actually times when they actually met up and were cool with each other. And then it took a cold, twisted turn. And for whatever reason, Finney decided he did not like Manny anymore. Now, I've talked to a lot of people that have told me the same thing. Then the shoe has fit. So I got to say that Manny lost a lot of his subscriber base and he lost a lot of his people because of his arrogance and the way he was acting. He got a little YouTube famous and didn't know how to act no more. He changed from the person that he once was, the caring person that would see you, give you a hug, take a picture, thank you for the support, all that. I know I've been there, done that, right? And then somewhere along the line, when your head gets too big, you start thinking, hey, man, I gotta have a security guard, man. I gotta fucking, you know what I'm saying, man? Right? You think you're hard. You think you're cool. You think you're tough. You get big-headed. And that's what I believe happened with Manny. And a lot of the things he started saying and a lot of the ways that he was displaying rubbed people the wrong way. So they started to fall off. And in fact, they didn't just fall off and disappear and say, you know what, I'm not watching him anymore. This is not the type of guy I want to subscribe to or support on YouTube. What they decided was they were going to band together in these certain groups and talk shit about Manny. It was the fun thing to do. It was the cool thing to do. So there was a lot of people going in on him. It wasn't just Finney, the legend, and his wife, Bubbly. There was much more than that. It gets deeper than that. And it will all be brought up in trial. Not that it's going to help Manny. Not that there's any excuses for murdering Finney and his wife, because there are no excuses. But there will be a lot of people that become involved in this case that are spoken on, maybe not locked up or reprimanded for anything, but definitely will be talked about. You know, and I think that's one of the one of my pet peeves, and I think that's one of everybody's pet peeves. Nobody likes to be talked about in the negative, right? Oh, everybody's in. If you say, oh man, the homie's a cool motherfucker, everyone's like, yeah, I did that, right? Oh man, that motherfucker's a J-Cat, man. Fuck you, right? That's how the world works, right? You know, no one likes to be talked about in the negative, but it's real and it's possible and it's going to happen. So there was a lot of people besides Finney that was going in on Manny. Now, that doesn't make Manny innocent. Don't think I'm taking his side. I'm trying to justify, oh, poor Manny. Fuck Manny. Okay, he killed 2 people. He's going to prison. Let's just say that right now. Do I hate Manny? No. Do I like Manny? No. Do I think he deserves a fair trial? Yes. Do I think he's going to fucking do something in trial? No. Right? You're going to jail, bro. Hopefully for his family's sake, he does not get the death penalty. But if he does, and it is what it is, well, you know, when you take 2 lives in front of that many people, no one's going to cry over it besides your children, man. And that's why I say you can't let words break you, because you put yourself in a position to make them cry. Finney didn't. His Bubbly did it. You did. Now, when this assault took place, that Finney, the legend, accused Manny of and did press charges. If you look at the thumbnail, there's some of the paperwork right there. What happened was Finney, the legend, and his wife, they were on Fremont Street filming, doing their thing. Now, at this time, Manny and Finney had already had a couple skirmishes. There was a famous one that happened in October of that year, which was the Halloween incident where Bubbly was seen, which is Finney's the wife who's deceased, was seen pushing Manny's face, and Manny hit her with some bear mace, right? And then you see Julie involved and a lot of other people, that innocent bystanders and whatever, good Samaritans, heroes got involved. And that was one of the incidents, but there was other ones. And in this particular incident, Finney was recording, and Manny allegedly came up from behind and pushed him. Okay, this is according to what Finney's told the police. Now, Manny's defense, when he talked to the police, because both of these guys talked to the police. See, this is crazy. They were about it in the streets, were guns, gangs, groups, fighting. Fuck your wife. No, fuck yours. Yours is skinny and ugly. Yours is fat and stupid. Like, there was all this going on, this back and forth. Yours has a double chin, liposuction. The other one, shit. Yours has a hook nose and looks like like they were going at it, right? Meanwhile, both these guys were giving statements to the police officers. No, he did it. No, he did it. No, he did it. No, he did it. Someone should do it. Here it is, right? Finney told the police officers, per the report that I read, his statement was that Manny came up from behind and assaulted him by pushing him unprovoked, and that there was a beef, an ongoing beef between them two, and that Finney and his wife were just trying to mind their own business, and it was very unprovoked, and this guy has been stalking them and has been looking for them and has been making threats online. I guess he tried to get him out the way any way he could, right? Now, Manny, on the other hand, you're not innocent, Manny. Stop it. Write me back, puto. You're not, hey, write me back, puto. You're not innocent, right? Manny tells the cops, per his statement, that there's an ongoing online beef and that he felt that he was being disrespected and he felt that he had to basically go up and have a conversation with Finney and that he's tried everything, and these guys just keep going in on him. Basically, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. He was crying about it. He was telling the cop his whole fucking life story and how these guys mess with him, which there was some truth and validity to it. Believe that. But fuck you, what's the cop going to do? Hey, you stop being mean to him. It's not going to work that way, right? So Manny's defense was that he himself just merely went up behind Finney and tapped him on the shoulder to like have a conversation, and that Finney got all crazy, and then that's where it got stupid. That's where somehow cops were involved, which is amazing because I've been to Vegas a million times, and I've seen motherfuckers get their head kicked off their shoulders. I call it head and shoulders, right? No more head on the shoulders. Mohawk Mike knows what that is, or Mohawk Matt or whatever. He knows about heads being off shoulders. But I've seen a gang of people get into so many different fights. I've seen shooting. I've seen a gang of shit in Vegas. Like, oh shit, Vegas is lit. Friday night, you go to Ojos Locos, get a little beverage, fill a torta, and then you go to the fucking strip or you go to fucking Fremont and it's cracking. And hey, you're not going to go to Las Vegas and not see some assaultive behaviors. What happens there, man? Ain't no big thing. People get a little fucking drunk. They get all fucking hard and they fight, right? So I've seen a lot of shit. And there's been plenty of times where there's so many officers that are on the scene like that, right? And then there's been plenty of times where it just happens, this quick skirmish, boom, boom, boom. Someone gets boo-bopped. Shit, I've seen fucking chicks boo-bopping dudes. Boo, 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 boo. Leave her alone, right? All that. And then people just keep pushing. Oh, shit, look. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking a Michael Jackson impersonator. And they just keep on walking. Hey, I'm going to go take a picture with R. Kelly, right? Maybe he'll pee on me. They just keep on pushing. So again, for this incident, this must have been between Manny and Finney. It must have been something big because officers got involved, or maybe there were just officers in the vicinity because they were argumentative. They were arguing. Now, this is just one of the incidences that led to the demise of Finney the Legend and his wife, Bubbly, the murder, right? There is new video evidence that's coming out, right? That I was privileged to watch for a few minutes. And it is literally the cops pulling up to the scene of the murder. And I mean, pulling up, there's clips of the bodies. Unfortunately, man, for Finney and Bubbly's kids, I hope they don't see that, right? I'm sure they're probably going to, but I hope they don't. But there's pictures of that. There's cops screaming, asking where the shooter was. People were pointing towards the Bellagio. Some people were pointing across the street. Manny kind of just disappeared. If you watch the timeline or you've been up on this case, you can see where he takes off his shirt, he takes off his hat, and it is what it is. Now, there's been plenty of people that told me, and I don't know if this is true. I got to take a closer look, that Manny was wearing a Raiders shirt and a Raiders hat. Upon further looking closer, there's been a lot of people saying that he was actually wearing an Arizona jersey and an Arizona hat. Diamondbacks, right? Which was the ultimate troll, because if you know what you know, that you might not know, but I know, is that Finney, the Legend, and his wife Bubbly were actually from Arizona. So for him to murder them wearing Arizona attire, that's just cruel and unusual punishment, right? That's just the ultimate trolling. So that's what I'm saying, man. Manny was not innocent. For those of you guys that are, they got what they deserved. No, they did not. You never deserve to be killed, man. Never. I don't give a fuck what you say. Okay, spit on me and it's different. But just talk some shit. So what? So it's another man talking shit. If he can't control his emotions, he's in the wrong. He's in the bad. You ever been in one of those situations where you're walking down the street, someone's like, hey, what you looking at? Like, well, I'm not even looking at you. I was looking at your lady's ass. But whatever, right? What's up? What's up? What's up with you? No, what's up with you? And then the next thing you know, they're chunking them, right? They're fighting. Could have been avoided if the first motherfucker didn't feel some type of way. The other person could have not even acknowledged, hey, what are you looking at? Kept on walking. Hey, I'm talking to you. Kept on walking. Well, fuck it then. He'd have just gave up. He's like, damn, I guess he don't want that smoke. Let him think he won. See, I've been told that a long time ago. Let these motherfuckers think they win, eh? But in the meantime, in between time, we're going to be getting all that feria. like Cholo Juan says, right? Yeah, hell yeah. So I understand now with Manny, he's not getting no feria. He let them people live rent-free in his mind, more so than Finney did. Because if you look at the very end, Finney wasn't concerned. Finney was doing his thing. Should have been concerned, but he wasn't. And that leads me to believe one thing: he didn't take Manny seriously. Not at all. Not even a little bit. Not even that much, right? Manny took it very serious. And this is the result. But, there's been plenty of errant opportunity between these two individuals there was before the ultimate, killing. And I believe, man, there was so much room for a conversation and to maybe figure it out. Not be friends, but maybe just say, hey, bro, you stop talking about me, I'll stop talking about you. You guys want to hear something crazy? You want an exclusive? Okay. If you guys recall a content creator that was murdered, Savage Studios. Okay. Me and him had beef, right? Look, man, I'm not going to play the blame game. That man's dead. I don't want to disrespect him or his family, but I'll tell the truth and say this, that this beef stemmed from, I don't know what the fuck, right? From him, he left YouTube for a while. I came on the scene, kind of blew up a little bit. He came back, wanted to work with me, got a hold of me, was like, hey, bro, we should do something together. I was like, hell no. And if you guys understand why I said hell no, it had nothing to do with hate or I don't want to work with this guy or whatever, but he was disrespecting some people he shouldn't have, right? And I said, nah, I'm good, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that smoke. And he got mad, got upset. Well, fuck you then, fool. Well, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Your funny ass haircut and your fucking Siamese cat. Fuck you, right? So we're going back and forth. Got to the disrespecting mothers. It got to putting family members' addresses out there. It got crazy, right? On his part. I didn't put none of his, I didn't know shit, but I did disrespect him a little bit. We were going back and forth. Anyways, ultimately, we realized we were above that. And it wasn't like consistent, but it was a little bit of back and forth. Him more so on me than, if anyone knows, man, my beefs, I'll go in when I go in, but it's like they make a million videos and then I clap back once and then I'm the villain, right? So that's what that was. And I'm not trying to fucking say, oh, I'm not guilty, but I'm just being real. And he got a hold of me, man. Like, it was about a couple months before he passed. And he was like, hey, what's up with you? I said, what's up? He's like, man, he was feeling some type of way about his old lady. Because I had said, man, I told his old lady, call me. Right? And he was feeling some type of way. So he's like, hey, man, let's not bring old ladies into it. I'm trying to work on my relationship. Cool, man. I get it. And anyways, we decided right then and there, like, if we ever see each other, man, we can handle our business, but we're not going to disrespect anymore. And we stopped. A conversation was had, Now, let me talk about a conversation that was had a couple of days or a few days prior to him getting murdered, right? My phone rings. I answer it. It was actually YouTube payday, meaning the day that YouTube pays us. And for those that are content creators, they understand sometimes you're playing the waiting game for it to hit your account. Sometimes it comes fast. Whatever, right? I answer. I don't recognize the number because I didn't have his number locked in. He must have had my number locked in. I didn't have his. What's up? What's up, fool? I said, who's this? Savage. All right, what's up with you? He said, are you good? I said, yeah, I'm always good. Are you good? He said, I'm not. Well, I haven't got paid yet. I'm stressing over here. I got bills, this, and that. And I was like, oh, no, you'll get it. You'll get it, homie. Don't trip, right? I'm like, you know how it goes. He was just stressing a little bit. Bam. He said, are you good, though? I said, yeah. He was like, man, you think they're going to pay me? I don't know. Maybe I was the only content creator that he could call. I don't know why he called me. He hated me, right? But that's the truth. Bam. Phone hangs up. I get a text about a couple hours later. Hey, that shit hit. All right, cool. Blessings. That's it. So it goes to show you that now our level of violence and our history between me and Savage could have took it there. We were talking that much shit. It could have been a body. I mean, he ended up ultimately getting killed because he had his own shit going on. But I'm saying between us. But see, a conversation was had and we were able to kill that noise and be cordial, understanding that if we ever seen each other, I'm boop bopping your ass, right? But we're gonna, and I mean with these, I don't use gun. I'm my ex-combat, I can't. But you know what I'm saying? The fact is, Manny and Finney could have did the same thing, but I think Manny is a J-cat, loves the limelight, and is just fucking stupid when it comes to thinking straight. And I think Finney was too full of himself to understand or even think that Manny posed that threat. And that's a fact. Anyways, man, there was a lot more assaultive behavior that's going to be utilized in the trial. We will see in the next few days, man, if Manny is going to. In fact, I think it's today. It's either today or the 29th. I'm not too sure, man. I think they're having the meeting today. We're going to find out if they ultimately give him the death penalty. We'll see. With that being said, stay tuned in. I'm going to keep you guys abreasted. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. Again, for those of you that are in Vegas that are showing love, thank you. For those of you that are hating, why are you even speaking on it, homie? This is Vegas shit. A la verga. No disrespect to Vegas. Ya know what I mean?